Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, good evening to those who are joining in. It is 6:20 p.m., February 15th, 2025, and we're surrounded on both sides of today with winter conditions, cold weather. We have an exception to the rule today. We put us squarely in a spring pattern this evening as we have a strong cold front that's moving into the area. Pretty potent weather conditions out ahead of it with a lot of strong wind shear. Pretty good amount of instability for this time of year as well, which is usually the lacking ingredient for these types of systems, and a lot of spin out there in the atmosphere as well. So we are going to be talking you through this over the next, however long it kind of takes maybe to get these storms through the Memphis area. So right now, what you are looking at is current radar as of 6:18 p.m. from the National Weather Service. We have a couple of warnings that are out as this storm system is approaching the river now, and we'll be moving across the area over the next couple of hours. So appreciate all of you who are joining us. I'm going to, now I've laid the groundwork, just going to pause just for a second, make sure that we've got things running properly. It looks like we do.
It does appear that way, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we do have some folks on there. So joining me tonight is Richard Hosney, meteorologist here with MemphisWeather.net, Serious Weather Solutions. I'm Eric Procius, and we are going to be walking you through the radar. As we're doing this, we'll also be continuing to post on social media, so you'll continue to get the updates there as well. We may have an intern or two drop in and out as we're doing this, and be able to help out with the situation here tonight. So let's take a quick look at, as I loop this through, and let me just go straight to single panel and just look at the rainfall, that portion of this that's coming in. So squall line that we've been talking about for a few days now, and been under a slight to now enhanced risk of severe weather. It's been pretty well advertised, and it is just about on schedule as this line approaches the river here in the 6 o'clock hour. And we'll be crossing the metro over the next probably hour to hour and a half before it gets off to the eastern side of the metro. The storms are moving pretty quickly, but they're moving northeast. The line's moving a little less quickly across the metro, and you can see that line is forming off to our west. Warnings are popping out on that. We've had a couple of tornado warnings already into the metro area. And so as I finish this up, I'm going to step forward and pause here for just a minute. And Richard, you got something?
Yeah, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for eastern Tipton County until 7 p.m. At 6:21 p.m., a severe thunderstorm is located near Brighton, or 7 miles south of Fort Pillow State Park, moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. Hazards include 60 mile per hour wind gust and quarter-size hail. Look for locations of Brownsville, Covington, and Ripley, as well as Munford in those affected locations. That is a severe thunderstorm warning until 7 p.m. for eastern Tipton County.
And that has replaced the tornado warning that was in effect for the past half hour or so, that included southwestern Tipton County, northern Crittenden County, and northern Shelby County. Piece by piece, that has kind of been removed as the rotation has weakened some in there, but that severe thunderstorm warning has taken its place. So as a summary of warnings, and side note, Richard, here, will you send an invite to Gracie, please?
I will. And Lorian is on. Not sure who you want to handle the warning, but I'll send the invite to Gracie.
Okay. I'm going to let you take care of the Tipton County warning when you get a chance.
Okay.
So we have a summary of the warnings in effect right now. A severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until 7 p.m. It's going to cover a good part of Crittenden County, except for the northwestern kind of quarter of the county. Starting from Hughes, Arkansas, that line of storms now moving into the central portion of Crittenden County, moving into the Marion area now. That warning does also include the western sections of Shelby County. All of the downtown, everything within the I-240 loop is within that warning, extending up into the southern portions of Bartlett, eastern portions of Cordova, and down into southwestern Shelby County. The southwestern portions, including the T.O. Fuller, President's Island area, So basically much of the populated portion of the county, excluding the northeastern quarter and the southeastern quarter, those suburbs, Germantown, Collierville, Lakeland, Arlington, Millington, you are not in this warning right now. I expect you will be, though, before very long. And that thunderstorm is moving pretty quickly off to the northeast, moving at 55 miles per hour, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, quarter-size hail with this squall line that's going to be crossing the river here in the very near future. Moving a little bit further to the north, Richard mentioned the Tipton County warning. Actually, 2 warnings in effect for Tipton County, covering just about all of it, except for the far southeastern section of Tipton County, but the whole US 51 corridor, moving right up from Munford to Brighton and Toca and up through Covington, all under severe thunderstorm warning. That goes also until 7 p.m., 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail possible in those storms as they're approaching US 51 corridor now.
We do have reports in Tipton County at Richards Landing of golf ball size hail.
All right. And that's probably got to be right over on the river.
Yeah.
Given the location of the storm there and the fact that they call it a landing, my guess is that is right over there on the river. Not familiar with that particular place.
And we do have both Gracie and Lorian on now.
Excellent. Gracie and Lorian are 2 of our interns, Mississippi State meteorologists, and getting a taste for how this works here. It has been quite some time since we have done a live YouTube stream. Have to have everything come together and the right people in place to be able to cover both social media and the live stream. So we have that in place. So appreciate them being on. And if we have information to pass off to you guys, we'll do it here because you'll be listening to us here. And if either one of you see anything interesting that's coming across, feel free to pop in and say so. So let's take a quick look. I'm going to split the screen off. Here we go. And put our wind pattern over here on the right. So we have the line of storms. The strongest part of that is from northeastern Crittenden County extending back down through the 40-55 split right around West Memphis now, and down into southern Crittenden County approaching Horseshoe Lake, and that extends even farther down to the south, down towards Mariana and Helena, West Helena as well. And we can see that there's some pretty strong winds associated with that, especially coming into the backside of the system over southern Crittenden County, and that is the area of concern that is pushing northeast and into the city of Memphis. We're looking at potential for probably 50 to 60-mile-an-hour winds. The radar beam is up around 2,000 feet there, but given the heavy rain on the front side of that, some of those winds are mixing down to the ground. I'm not seeing any specific reports right at the moment, but a lot of that is rural and kind of farmland area down in that region. So hard to get some reports out of there, but the radar is definitely showing strong winds moving into and towards the heart of the Memphis area. So look for these storms as they're now getting right into West Memphis. We should be getting a new observation for West Memphis pretty soon here on exactly what kind of winds they're getting. But that's going to be crossing the river into downtown probably in the next 10 minutes or so, and continuing off right over the heart of the city as it continues to move off to the east northeast. Those areas that are not in the warning, northern and eastern Shelby County, you need to be having a heads up here because as this line moves in, I expect warnings will be preceding that line. So you will likely get us at least a severe thunderstorm warning as it comes in. And we are also watching these systems for the potential for spin up tornadoes. There is a lot of spin in the air right now, low level and upper levels, strong wind shear across the system. Very strong winds aloft, and so that is why we are also in a SPC enhanced weather risk. And I want to go ahead and bring that up as well. Let's see. Here's our outlooks, and we'll bring that screen right over. So this is the latest Storm Prediction Center outlook for today, and the Memphis area is included in the level 3 enhanced risk. Has been since. I think that enhanced risk was actually put out yesterday. And if we look at individual threats here, you see, let me drop the cities on here as well. So the Memphis area is, and also from a tornado risk standpoint, a 10% risk area with a hatched area over the top of that. And I think I can actually get a little bit better view of this. I'll stand by just a second here. Richard, do you have anything to fill in? Go ahead.
Yeah, we do have a question. What are the chances we see a tornado in Horn Lake?
That actually gets right about to where I was headed, I think, with that question right there. So let me pull up these graphics. Doing that now.
And if you're just listening, we do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now. We do not have a tornado warning in effect for our area. We do have a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. We currently have a severe thunderstorm warning for central Curated County as well as central Shelby County until 7 p.m. And that is moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 7 p.m. for eastern and actually most of Tipton County until 7 p.m. These storms could contain 60 mile per hour wind gusts as well as 1 inch hail. 1 inch hail for the Curated and Shelby County storm, 1.5 inch hail possible for the Tipton County storm. And all of these storms are quickly moving to the northeast at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So they are blowing through here.
All right, so let's take a look at those severe weather probabilities as this line moves in, addressing specifically the question about chances of tornadoes. So the middle panel here is going to be the tornado outlook for today. And the yellow area is a 10% risk area. And so that means that there is a 10% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of you. So basically about the size of a county. If you consider your point, this question was about Horn Lake, but this applies to anyone that's listening here in the Memphis metro. There is a 10% chance of a tornado within roughly a county of you. Now, how does that 10% doesn't sound like a whole lot, but I can tell you with most just general kind of low end severe weather situations we have, usually the tornado threat doesn't get above about 2%. So that this is about 5 times that. And of course, it's many times higher than we would have with just any standard thunderstorm day. So that is fairly significant. And the other portion of that is the hatched area, which covers pretty much all of the metro as well. And that indicates the potential 10% or greater for a significant tornado, EF2 or greater. So while this is a squall line, and typically we talk about tornadoes and squall lines being pretty brief spin up tornadoes, they don't last very long. Sometimes they're hard to warn for because they spin up and are gone in 5 minutes and tend to not do much more damage than the wind itself. We have enough shear in the atmosphere that some of these storms that do spin up could produce tornadoes that are stronger than we might typically expect from a squall line situation. So it is something to definitely be prepared for. If you are put under a tornado warning, you need to take action as soon as that warning comes out to protect yourself.
Hey, Eric, from the National Weather Service, they are now saying that a new severe thunderstorm warning is coming for Shelby and DeSoto County, and it will include a tornado possible tag.
All right, great. So that's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning. And when they put the tornado possible tag on there, that just means that it is not currently producing rotation, but the environmental conditions favor the potential for a spin up, and it might happen pretty quickly. So they will be watching it very closely. And if they start to see rotation on that storm, a tornado warning can come out with little to no notice. So you need to be prepared for that scenario.
And it looks like that line is directly over the river now. The leading edge of the line actually is right over the river, and there's the new warning.
Yep. And that goes until 7:15 for that line of storms, and that includes all of Shelby County. It includes the southern portions of Tipton County, including the Mason area along the county line. It includes the western sections of Fayette County out to Oakland. And it also includes now the northern sections of DeSoto County, which will be Walls, Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, and down towards Byhalia as well. So pretty large warning. Goes until 7:15. And those storms are moving quickly at about 60 miles per hour. So we're going to see this impact most of that warned area in the next 30 to 45 minutes.
And I will get the severe thunderstorm warning unless you want Florian or Gracie, to get it?
Lauren, do you want to take it, Lauren?
Yes, I can do that.
Great. Thank you.
We do have another, if you want to take a wider view, we do have another question.
Sure.
Do you anticipate an all clear after this line passes?
Yeah, this line is going to be our severe threat for tonight. We're not seeing really any more storms popping up ahead of that line, which is good news because those actually could tap into a little bit more of the spin in the atmosphere and have a better chance of producing tornadoes. But the squall line is the main event tonight. So it will be up to the Weather Service to decide when to cancel the tornado watch behind that line as it clears. But for all effects and purposes, once this line passes your location, you will be seeing steady rain for a few hours behind that. And actually, it will be turning quite a bit colder. We're looking at temperatures back down into the 40s behind it. So we kind of snuck from the 40s this morning up to the low to mid 70s for a few hours here. And we're right back down to the 40s within a few hours of this line passing. But the answer to that question is yes. Let's take a quick look, unless there's any other questions coming in.
Yeah, we do have a question about hail threat, particularly for Arlington, but we want to kind of look at the hail threat.
Yep, let's. I was actually going to head that direction as well here. So we've got the other probabilities for not only the tornadoes but the wind and the hail. So let me start with the wind outlook, and that is actually the highest probability for this storm system, with a 30% chance of severe hail. I'm sorry, severe wind, and that would be greater than 58 miles per hour. And if you've got the Stormwatch Plus app, it just went off probably for you. We use our own products. Stand by. There we go. So that is the severe thunderstorm warning that we just saw, delivered to the Stormwatch Plus app. And so we have a 30+% chance of damaging wind greater than 58 miles an hour within 25 miles of us. The hail risk is actually fairly low per the SPC standards. For today, it's down around 5%. But we are seeing the potential for some hail in some of these storms, maybe up to quarter size. My guess is most of it will probably be a little bit smaller than that. But hail cannot be ruled out from these storms. And if we look at the Ville here real quick, let's switch over to the hail product. And you can see some of the cores of these storms are lighting up with values, the greens and yellows here, indicating the potential for some small hail in some of these storms, maybe even some quarter size. So those areas that might be under the hail areas right now are moving into the West Memphis area, up into the Shelby Forest area. The storms are moving in those general directions. This hail area that is along I-40 West Memphis down towards north of Horseshoe Lake is going to be moving to the east. That is expected to go across the city of Memphis. And then we also have the couple of little hail cores in this particular storm moving across northern Tipton County. So yeah, can't rule out hail with these storms, and that includes Arlington tonight as well.
We may want to take a closer look at the West Memphis storm. National Weather Service now saying that the storm is starting to bow out a little bit, which would lead to an increased wind threat as it moves into Shelby County.
All right, and the bowing they're referring to is just basically the storm kind of pushing out because of the strong winds behind it in kind of if you think of the bow and arrow, the bow shape is kind of that curved axis around the bow and arrow there. So that area around West Memphis is starting to push out a little bit. We are seeing some enhanced winds in that area. It looks like those could be starting to reach severe limits. We're looking from the radar beam perspective up about 1,000 feet here. So not exactly what's occurring on the ground. We do have, looks like across the river there at General DeWitt Spain Airport, northerly winds up to about 30 miles an hour there. Same thing up in the Millington area. These storms are pushing out an outflow ahead of them, and that's kind of why we're seeing the northwesterly winds out ahead of the storms, and they're gusting up to about 25 miles per hour there too. But that's all out ahead of the storm. So in the storms themselves, we're expecting that much stronger wind.
And it looks like by 7 p.m., this storm will be completely over the river into Shelby County. And then by 7:30, we should be pushing through the metro and on the eastern side of Memphis by about 7:30. But we do have severe thunderstorm warnings in place. Again, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 7:15 for southeast Crittenden County, northern DeSoto County, northwest Marshall County, southeastern Tipton County, western Fayette County, and Shelby County. Severe thunderstorm was located near T.O. Fuller State Park, moving east at 55 miles per hour, including hazards include 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail. So if you're in the path of this storm, be aware that there could be 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail that move in with this storm. The storm currently is basically from Atoka to Millington and down to the river there in Memphis, and extends even further down into Horseshoe Lake area and just west of Tunica. And this storm, again, is moving pretty fast, moving east at 55 miles per hour. So when this leading edge hits you, it should be pretty brief for the impacts to actually affect you. If you've got any comments and you're watching on YouTube, if you've got any comments, just send them in the chat, and we can answer them here live on the stream. We appreciate everyone watching. We definitely want to keep you informed and prepared and not scared.
All right, so Richard's recapped the warnings pretty well there. As mentioned, these storms are now crossing into Shelby County downtown because of the way the county is shaped. All of the northwestern portion of the county is already under these storms moving over. They are now moving into Millington. We're going to see these pushing across North Memphis here pretty quickly as well, moving into the Bartlett area here within the next 5 to 10 minutes. And then across the I-240 loop as they continue to move off to the east. Most of the city of Memphis within the I-240 loop is going to be underneath these storms here in the next 10 minutes or so. Take a little bit longer to get to the southern part of the county because of the angle these storms are coming in at, but the northern part of the county and then up into Tipton County, they've already gotten one set of storms moving through, and now the main line of storms is moving into the Atoka, Munford area, about to hit Brighton, and we'll be moving into Covington here in a very short time frame as well. Looks like severe thunderstorm warning has been trimmed back there in Tipton County. Western portion of Tipton County has been cleared from the severe thunderstorm warning. It does still include Covington, and then far southern Tipton County is included in basically the Shelby County warning as well.
Weather Service now saying still tracking a wind signature coming across Shelby and northern DeSoto County.
Richard, I'm going to let you take the share over if you would, and
yeah,
go ahead and talk about that one for a minute.
Yeah, so we do have a possibility for significant wind, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts that are moving across southwestern Shelby County as well as northwestern DeSoto County. We can see here that the leading edge of this is what's moving in. We do have 60-knot wind gust potential on the north leg of 240. Let's see, that is going to be just right around the 14 area that comes in there on the northeast side of 240. Could be some damaging winds there. This storm, not really seeing much in the way of tornadic potential, but straight line winds as well as small hail. Severe hail is possible. 1-inch hail is possible. And then 60-mile-per-hour wind gust is also possible. But the Weather Service now saying that they're tracking a feature that's a wind feature that is moving across southwestern Shelby County and northern DeSoto County. You can see that on the radar. Let me switch back to storm relative. It gives me an idea of winds relative to the actual storm. Maybe some gusty winds coming for you in Bartlett here in the next little bit there, Eric. We do have indication that there is some stronger winds showing about 500 feet above the radar beam, 500 feet near Bartlett. So be aware that could have some gusty winds moving in your way. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning again in effect until 7:15 p.m. for all of Shelby County, northern DeSoto County, northwestern Marshall County, eastern Fayette County, or western Fayette County, and southern Tipton County. This storm could produce 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail, which is 1-inch hail. We do have constant monitoring of the National Weather Service. We're trying to pull any kind of information we can from them and pass it on to you. Gracie and Lorian, if you have any reports through social media, you be sure and pass that on to us and our viewers so that they can get those as well. The severe thunderstorm warning for Tipton County is now just for the northeastern portion of Tipton County. That storm is moving northeast at 65 miles per hour, expecting ping pong sized hail, which is 1.5-inch hail, and 60-mile-per-hour winds. That is going to be including Covington and moving into Haywood County, the Brownsville area, in the next little bit. The line that we are looking at is basically from Covington to right over Millington to Bartlett, and moving through the 240 loop now, moving through Midtown, about to affect the airport here in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and basically down the Highway 61 corridor from Walls down to Robinsonville and Tunica. Those areas are on the leading edge of the storm, and this storm is moving pretty quickly. Latest from the National Weather Service says it's moving east at 55 miles per hour. So these aren't slow-moving storms, but they are intense with all the moisture and the warmth that we've had over the past day. These storms are going to quickly move through. If we can zoom out just a little bit, we can see that there isn't much behind this in the way of severe weather. There is the flooding potential, especially for northeastern Arkansas. But there is continued rain and maybe a little lightning behind all of this activity, but it does not extend very much. So this is the leading edge of the storm. And once this passes, we probably will be okay with just some light rain for the rest of the evening.
And I'll be right there with you, Richard. I got a couple of offline questions to handle here.
That's fine. Looking to see again if you've got any comments, suggestions, questions. Just post them to the chat, to the comments section, and YouTube, and we'll be happy to answer those on air. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in and listening to us. We don't like to hype up the weather, but we did have some tornado warnings earlier, and those prompted us to go ahead and start the live stream. We do still have the potential for tornadoes. For the entire metro, we do have a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. Currently, no tornado warnings in our area. The closest tornado warning is up around Humboldt and Trenton, Tennessee, up in Crockett and Gibson County. We do have severe thunderstorm warning in effect for a good portion of the area. We do have possible the National Weather Service says that there is a possible indication that there could be a tornado with this storm, brief spin up that could happen at any time. We're not really seeing that at the moment. We are seeing a straight line wind threat moving through the metro at the moment, basically from Bartlett to East Memphis, almost to the eastern leg of 240. Through the airport and down the Highway 61 corridor in northwest Mississippi. Weather Service now saying that the tornado watch has been cleared west of the river. So that means that Crittenden County, you are in the clear. As far as the tornado watch goes, you still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 7 p.m. We may see that trimmed just a little bit in the next 10 minutes or so as this line advances further east, quickly advances east because it is moving east at about 55 miles per hour. Take a break here just for a moment and see if our interns, Lorian and Gracie, have any input or comments.
think the only thing I saw, I think there was a hail report of almost 2 inches of hail somewhere. I can't quite remember, but I saw that. And that was in Tipton County, I think. I'd have to double check the number though.
Oh,
That
wow.
came out of the MEG bot. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was
Okay.
1 3/4, maybe. Let me see. Yeah, golf ball size. 1 3/4 inch in Tipton County.
Okay.
Wow,
Tipton County.
it's impressive. Let's take a look. Richard, did you switch over my screen for me? Here we go. I wanted to take a look at the current power outage situation across the area. When I pulled this up about 5 minutes ago, we were sitting at about 3,000 customers affected. It's down to 1,859 now. So the number is elevated a little bit, as you might expect, with strong winds moving in, and you can kind of see where those winds have already hit based on where the outages are shown. But about 1,000 brought back online here in the last 5 minutes or so. So that's good news. And I can hear out my window here on the north side of Bartlett that the line has indeed arrived, and the winds are switching on the weather station out in the backyard that you can actually follow as well if you are using our MWN app, our new web app. You can go to MemphisWeather.net on your browser, on your mobile phone, and go to that website, www.MemphisWeather.net, and then add that to your home screen, and it becomes an app for you. And that has current conditions from Bartlett on it that are live in real time. And so you will see that our temperature is starting to fall now. The rain is picking up. And that is part of that line that is now approaching the Highway 70 corridor from Arlington down to Bartlett and extending down to Summer Avenue there at I-40. And also now covering much of the inner part of the loop. Those of you down in Colonial Acres, down towards St. Francis and so forth, that rain is just a couple of minutes away from you. Just about to hit the airport as well. And we should get some observations pretty quickly out of the airport of what kind of wind is coming out of that. So we will be able to see that in a little bit. But that line is extending pretty well now down through western part of Shelby County, moving into the northeastern part of Shelby County. Extends up into the Tunica area. Warnings have been dropped for a good part of the Tipton County, a good part of Tipton County, except for the southern sections. And we're also going to be keeping a pretty close eye on this area down just south of the warning, moving into southern DeSoto County and through Tunica County, as that looks like it could be a little bit of a wind signature down in there as well. Not a warning out right now for that, but we'll certainly keep our eyes on that. We're also seeing there's a little bit of the mixing up of the winds going on out here in the Bartlett Lakeland area. I wouldn't really call it rotation right now. The radar beam has actually got kind of an oblique angle to the front edge of that storm system right now. So it's a little bit hard to tell what's going on in there, but there's definitely strong storms now moving through Bartlett, heading into Arlington. We see winds are up out of the northwest at these airports, including DeWitt, Spain, up towards Charles Baker and Millington Regional, as well as down towards downtown. So winds have switched and the rain is coming down heavy. And we'll see if we get how strong the winds are as it comes through Bartlett here and moves overhead.
So of note, the TMEM radar, the terminal radar at the way station in DeSoto County, is showing the same wind area just north of Ellendale, north of Lakeland. So showing an enhanced area of stronger winds, around 40 to 50 knots. 45 to 50 knots. Again, just north of Lakeland and Ellendale. Like Eric said, it's not an indication of rotation, just some stronger winds within the storm.
There we go. Yeah, there's a little. I see it now. There's a little bit of enhancement up there. You're exactly right. Almost looks like it's just picking up the leading edge of the gust front, moving through there with some pretty strong winds on the backside. And my windows are facing to the west, and they are getting as good a car wash as I've ever gotten at any $20 car wash around here right now. They're blasting the windows pretty hard coming in from the west. So gusts are picking up. I can hear it. I'm sure over 30 and probably a little bit stronger than that. So that's what you can expect downstream as this line moves in.
So just to reiterate, we do not have any tornado warnings in effect right now. We did have tornado warnings earlier when we initially came on air. We do not have any tornado warnings right now. The closest tornado warning we have is in Crockett and Gibson County, and we currently have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for a large portion of the metro, including Shelby County, with the potential for tornado to pop up within these storms, but we're not seeing indications of tornadoes as of right now. We do have tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. That watch is basically just east of the river. Crittenden County has been removed from that watch. So Shelby, Tunica, DeSoto, Tate, Marshall, Fayette, and Tipton County all in the tornado watch until 10 p.m. And this is the line. This is the main action tonight. After this passes, we'll just see some light rain, possibly some embedded lightning and thunder behind this line, but not anything severe after this line passes.
So I'm seeing the latest observation from the airport. As soon as the line hit the airport, winds immediately switched to the west-northwest and gusts were to 35 miles an hour, and that's on the very leading edge of that line. So it'll probably get a little bit stronger as the storm itself moves over, but at least 35 miles an hour.
And of note, it's 66 degrees right now at the airport, and it's 54, mid to upper 50s back in eastern Arkansas. Jonesboro now reporting 48 degrees. So cold air is quickly moving in behind this line of thunderstorms.
I'll also note that as of with this line moving through and the cold air sinking back in behind it, we will have a little bit of once this main batch moves by, which will be certainly well above freezing when that moves through over the next 3 hours or so. But there'll be some very light precipitation that moves in as the cold air slides in here overnight tonight. And some of our high-res models are picking up the possibility of a few snow flurries tomorrow morning as it ends right around sunrise. So we will be back down to the low 30s tomorrow morning. Wind chills probably down around 20 with a pretty gusty wind out of the northwest. Don't be completely shocked. It's not going to be a big snow event of any sort, but don't be completely shocked if you're up early enough, 5, 6 in the morning, that you might see a few snow flurries mixing with the snow as this finally comes to a close tonight. But certainly doesn't feel like it for those out ahead of the line where it's still in the low 70s as the sun is setting here.
So we have an update to the warning, the large warning that covers Shelby and Tipton, Fayette, DeSoto, and Marshall County. The National Weather Service has removed the tornado tag. So tornado not likely with this storm anymore. Just straight line winds, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, as well as quarter size or 1 inch hail with this storm that's moving east at 55 miles per hour. Speaking of that, Corey has asked, how long do you think the major part of the line will get through South Haven? We did say it is moving pretty fast east at 55 miles per hour. Do you have any insight to that?
Yeah, let's take a look at the width of the line is about 15 miles. So moving at that speed, we're looking at, less than 30 minutes from when it gets there to when the heaviest would clear. And that would pertain to just about any area. As soon as it hits your area, it'll be about a 30-minute storm with very gusty winds. My western side of my house is still getting a power washing here. But about 30 minutes of that, and then rain will continue behind it. But the winds lighten up considerably, shift out of the north, temperatures start to fall. So if you have plans out later this evening, once this line clears, probably is going to be okay to proceed with those plans. So as mentioned, the tornado watch, they're clearing it on the backside of this line pretty quickly. Crittenden County has already been cleared in the metro area. So they are no longer in the watch. You are all clear in Crittenden County, and it'll take probably another hour or so to get this line completely through Shelby County and then and Tipton County, and then we should be all clear as well. It'll take a little bit longer to get through Mississippi because of the northeast southwest orientation of that line. So don't be surprised if it does take a little bit longer to do that. I can't shut that thing up. We strongly recommend that you get Stormwatch Plus and the alerts out of there. The annoying buzzing you may be hearing in the background is our Wake Me Up feature. We do have critical alerts capabilities on the iOS app, and that means even if your phone is on do not disturb or vibrate overnight, if a severe thunderstorm warning is issued for your location or a tornado warning, that loud audio sound will sound. It will wake you up, and that's the point. With strong severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings, you need to be taking action. And so that's the point of it. And it certainly will do better than trying to hear a tornado siren in the middle of a power washing of your house in the middle of the night, and being able to hear that when you're sleeping. So we always recommend multiple ways of getting your warnings. And fortunately, in-house, we have one here that you should go and try out, iOS and Android, Stormwatch Plus.
Still no tornado warnings in the area. Closest tornado warning rather is in Crockett and Gibson County. Again, when we did come on air, we did have tornado warnings in the area, basically just west of the river, moving into Shelby County, moving into Tipton County, and that's what prompted us to go live. We do have tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m., so the conditions are favorable for tornadoes until at least 10 p.m., and then the National Weather Service possibly trimming that watch back a little bit as this line moves through. So it may be before 10 p.m. before portions of this watch are actually canceled, as we saw with Crittenden County. We have one large tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for all of Shelby County, southern Tipton County, western Fayette County, northern DeSoto, and northwestern Marshall County until 7:15. We do have this line moving through the area pretty quickly at about east at 55 miles per hour. National Weather Service did have the possibility for tornadoes with this storm, but has since that potential has since diminished, thankfully. So the main leading edge of this line of thunderstorms is actually coming, from Mason and Stanton down to Lakeland, Cordova, Germantown, South Haven, Horn Lake, Nesbitt about to get in on the action, just west of Hernando, and down to Pritchard and Savage, around just north of Tunica. Sarah also expected to get in on the action here in the next little bit. This line is moving east at about 55 miles per hour. It is moving pretty quickly through the area. There is only light rain behind this, so that is a good thing. This is the main line for tonight, and we expect just, again, light rain behind this system as it progresses east throughout the evening.
The Storm Prediction Center has just issued an update for their severe weather outlook for the rest of the night tonight. And I thought I'd point this out because it lines up pretty well with what we're seeing on radar. And they have downgraded basically areas along the river and west with just potential for a couple of lightning strikes in eastern Arkansas. But that enhanced risk is ahead of the squall line right now. And as soon as you get behind it, you see that risk drop off considerably. So areas ahead of the line, just to reiterate, are the areas that need to pay attention as we go into the evening, later in this evening. Areas that have seen the rain calm down on the backside of this line, you are essentially all clear from the severe weather threat for tonight.
We do have a report from our friend Hunter on X on Twitter, pea-size hail in Atoka, and it is very, very small, but there is hail with some of these storms. Small hail, but hail nonetheless.
I should share a couple of the pictures. Hunter, we're going to give you a couple of props here. A couple of pictures that he sent earlier this evening. Hunter's always got some great pictures that he sends, and we appreciate those. This is a look at the tornado warned storm Tipton Shelby County line near Tracy and Rosemark. This was taken about 45 minutes ago or so, about 6:15 this evening. So you can see definitely the lowering of the cloud bases in there, and the rain starting to move in. And here's another picture of it. You can see those low cloud bases of that tornado warned storm. And if you look at the flag there, it is obviously has received that outflow probably because it's not raining there yet, but it is standing straight out. So pretty good pictures that were sent to us here earlier this evening.
Let's see if Lorian and Gracie have any comments, questions, anything.
I don't have any comments.
Anything new on the social media side, reports or anything like that? I think I've seen anything. We do
Nothing
appreciate
super
them.
major over here.
Okay, great. So they're updating the social media feeds as we're doing this live stream, so we can multitask this evening because we've got plenty of help, and that's certainly appreciated. For those that don't know kind of how we work, we are not only bringing you daily weather information, whether it's perfectly sunny outside and a nice beautiful day, or we have an event like today, obviously on 5 platforms now, on X, on Facebook, and on Instagram, also on Threads, and our latest feed going to Blue Sky. You can find us on all of those accounts, and we keep those updated regularly, and we are also training the next generation of meteorologists who are going, most of them coming through Mississippi State, an amazing broadcast and professional meteorology program down there. Fast fact, if you didn't know, about 1 in 3 broadcast meteorologists across the country got their degree from Mississippi State. So they're doing a fabulous job, and we're always eager to give them an opportunity to kind of take what they're learning in the classroom and apply it in real life here. So we're grateful for them to be on and helping to keep our social media feeds up also while we're broadcasting here tonight. So thank you, ladies, very much. We've got 4 interns right now, and they kind of rotate through. So really appreciate all the assistance they provide.
I do have a comment. Oh, got a comment just now. Hail State.
From there Perry. You go. Thanks, Perry.
Let's see. Oakland, Apple is reporting still quiet in Oakland, Tennessee.
It won't be for very long. That line of storms is crossing the Shelby Fayette County line now. You're probably 10 miles out ahead of it, and so it's going to be getting through there in the next probably arriving in the next 15 minutes or so. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County that is continued. They probably, they haven't. I thought they might take off the backside of it, but
so they canceled Shelby County severe warning and replaced it with a special weather statement.
Okay.
That's what Todd from the Weather Service has said.
Okay.
Waiting on
the radar here any minute.
Yeah. Let's see.
So basically that downgrade just indicates that they do not expect these storms will be producing severe level winds. It's passed over enough observing stations to be able to see measure exactly how strong those winds are. So if they are not expected to reach 58 miles per hour or have quarter-size hail, then they technically are not severe, even though they are still very strong. But a special weather statement is basically kind of like a junior severe thunderstorm warning. So we're eating off the kiddie plate here as the storms continue to move off to the east. Still plenty of heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and some pretty strong wind gusts, but maybe not to the level of damaging at this point, at least for the Shelby County portion.
We do have a question. What about Olive Branch?
Olive Branch is kind of in the same situation that Oakland is right now. The storm has passed South Haven, and it is moving into the Olive Branch area here probably in the next 5 minutes. So I would say before 8 o'clock, you'll have this storm completely through you down there in Olive Branch, and it will be just general rainfall on the backside of it. But you're about to receive it here imminently.
And you'll expect to get heavy rain, lightning, pretty gusty winds, probably 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts is possible, and maybe even some small hail with this storm as it moves through. The line currently from, let's see.
There you go.
Thank you. Looks like the line basically from Eads down through Germantown and southeastern Shelby County, right over Nesbitt, and about to move into Hernando here in the next little bit, next 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, and it looks like the wind signature is as indicated, not quite to severe levels. Seeing probably 30 to 40 mile an hour winds at least, but that's slightly above the ground. But most of the observations we're seeing are running in the 30 to 35 mile per hour range and wind gusts. I was just going to check the airport one more time, see if they've got anything new there.
Gust to 22 knots.
Yep. So it looks like we're still sitting up in the upper 20s to around 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
There at the backside of it.
Portions of northwest Mississippi are in the low 70s. With the rainfall at Memphis International, we're sitting at 61. Locations along the river and north of Memphis, Millington, those locations are in the upper 50s. And behind this, we're already in the upper 40s in Jonesboro and the mid 40s to central and north central Arkansas. So quite the temperature change, 30-degree temperature change, basically 72 in Oxford and 48 in Jonesboro. So pretty significant change, and that's what's led to all of this activity, which did roar in, but is actually calming down somewhat as it moves further east into the area.
As we look a little bit farther up to the north, just to give you an idea of what's going on elsewhere. So we do see quite a few tornado warnings up on the northern part of this line up through northwest Tennessee. And that's not totally unexpected. I think a lot of times with this kind of situation, when you get a squall line moving in, it intersects a warm frontal boundary. And usually where those intersect is your best chance of getting rotation in these storms. And so there is definitely some rotation I'm seeing on the radar up in the Obion, Dyer County area and so forth, moving off to the east. But that's about the northern extent of that warm front that moved through here and caused our temperatures to rise from the 40s this morning to mid 70s this afternoon. That warm front moved to the north. And previously that was projected to maybe not move quite that far north. We were kind of on the northern edge of that warm sector. So I certainly don't wish bad weather any place, but this type of scenario, if the warm front had stayed farther north, farther to the south, down over the metro, we could have been dealing with the same thing down here. So I guess we came out fortunate perhaps on that, but we do see still that special weather statement that's been issued, significant weather advisory for areas ahead of that line, spreading all the way out now to Jackson, Bolivar, down through Moscow, all expected to receive that line over the next 45 minutes or so. So that weather statement goes out till 8 o'clock.
Weather Service now saying a new flash flood warning is coming for parts of southwest Tennessee, including Memphis. If we could have Lorian, I guess, keep an eye on that and post it when it comes out. It is not out yet, but plenty of heavy rain has moved through the area and is currently moving through the area. And so the National Weather Service now thinking a flash flood warning is needed for there it is, for Shelby County. So central Crittenden County, western Fayette County, southwestern Haywood, Shelby County, and southeastern Tipton County. Again, a flash flood warning in effect until 10:15 for those areas. Doppler radar indicated indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the area. Between 1 to 2 inches of rain have fallen. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 3 inches are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Expect flash flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses, as well as other poor drainage and low-lying areas. This does include Bartlett, Collierville, Germantown, West Memphis, Marion, Millington, Covington, Cordova, Shelby Forest State Park, Teal Fuller State Park, Memphis, Lakeland, Arlington, Munford, Somerville, Brighton, Crawfordsville, Edmondson, Sunset, and Anthonyville. Again, a flash flood warning in effect until 10:15 tonight for central Crittenden, western Fayette, Shelby County, and southeastern Tipton County.
And there's that kind of triangular shaped polygon there that covers the heart of the metro for that flash flood warning Richard was just referring to.
So the severe thunderstorm has been allowed to expire. The severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire and has been replaced with a severe weather statement. We currently do not have any warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings in effect for the metro, just that flash flood warning that we just mentioned.
Just scanning through some of the recent comments here on YouTube to see if there's anything that that we missed, but it looks like we're covering most of that.
So we had a report of Memphis earlier. That would be impressive to see. It's always fun,
especially after dark. It must be getting illuminated by some lightning.
Yeah,
to be able to see that. But yeah, Memphis clouds are typically a sign of a lot of turbulent motion in the atmosphere. They look kind of like pockets of clouds, bubbles on the bottom sides of clouds. They're always very impressive to see. And usually you find them in severe weather scenarios or on the backside of, a lot of times on the backside of severe thunderstorm clouds as they're departing.
So Dapple Apple commented earlier about being still quiet in Oakland, says it's now rolling into Oakland. And
we can confirm that. That's moving in there now.
And Marie says heavy rain in Germantown and Collierville border. So heavy rain with some gusty winds with this line that's quickly moving through. Weather Service said east at 45 miles per hour, wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, and half-inch hail possible with this line that's moving through. Still some pretty heavy rain across north central DeSoto County, moving into Olive Branch, and basically moving into Hernando now.
Yeah, and there's that DeSoto County portion of the line right there. So Olive Branch about to get nailed with this line, passing over the I-55 corridor down to Hernando, and we'll be moving into Tate County here very shortly as it's passing through and over Tunica County, moving to the east. These are not severe down on this end of the line. Very heavy rain and probably some very gusty winds, but not to severe limits down there. So heavy rain and lightning expected as this moves into Tate County, the I-55 corridor to Coldwater and Senatobia, and points south down there towards Como and Sardis.
So no warnings in effect for northern Mississippi. We do have a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. for those locations. Not really seeing much in the way of tornadic potential now for northern DeSoto County, or rather northwest Mississippi. So we're going to keep an eye on that, but hopefully that continues to be the case as this line is moving through, moving east anywhere from 40 to 50 miles per hour, and potential for wind gusts, heavy rain, and small hail, as well as dangerous lightning. So if you're out and about, just be aware that you need to heed any warnings that come through, but currently no warnings in effect, no severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings in effect for the metro.
Looks like with that line just about all the way through Shelby County, or at least the leading edge of it, except for maybe Collierville and Germantown, those power outages are holding steady as well, right around 2,000, 2,100. That's a good sign. Certainly, we've had a lot of squall lines that have come through that have caused a lot more damage and a lot more power outages than that. So kudos to MLGW. Maybe some of all that tree cutting that's been going on is paying off here as we get the strong winds moving through the area. And that line does extend kind of to the eastern side of Tipton County now. So those in Tipton County, most of you are just about behind that line. It's moving through the Mason area in eastern Tipton County up into northwestern Fayette County. Still getting very heavy rain and some gusty winds over the eastern part of Shelby County, but a lot of the inner portions of city of Memphis, the 240 loop area, and then up to the northern part of Shelby County, especially Shelby Forest and up towards Millington. You're on the backside of this system now, and rain is letting up a little bit. We're starting to get a lull here in the north side of Bartlett as well. So things are calming down, and we will not have tornado watches cleared from these counties until the full county itself is completely clear of any potential threat. But things are definitely improving as this line continues to move off to the east. So heaviest part of the line really extends from northwestern Fayette County down through southeastern Shelby County, where the rain is just torrential coming down in those areas.
Yeah, so if you're in the Collierville to Oakland area, Rossville, that area, even just east of Olive Branch, that is the area that Eric is talking about, that the heaviest rainfall is happening. Again, Oakland down to Collierville, even just east of Olive Branch. That's the areas of heavy rain ongoing right now. That area is also covered with a flash flood warning that is in effect until 10:15. Again, that flash flood warning in effect for central Crittenden, western Fayette, Shelby, and southeastern Tipton County. Flash flood warning in effect until 10:15. Expect 1 to 3 inch additional 1 to 3 inches of rain possible over the evening and into later this evening. So be aware that there could be flash flooding in low-lying areas, poor drainage areas, small creeks and streams. So if you're flood prone, be aware that there is a high potential for flooding with these storms that are moving through, because this line is going to push east, and the heaviest rain is actually going to move out of the area pretty quickly. But we'll still have ongoing light to moderate rain behind this for a good portion of the evening. It could cause additional issues as far as flooding goes.
Got a specific question about Topgolf tonight. Somebody's planning a nice evening out, yeah, you're definitely underneath the heaviest precipitation right now. Appreciate you watching from out there. Get us in touch with the pros out there if you don't mind. Thank you. And but the heavy rain will be pushing through there in the next 30 minutes or so. I do expect it to continue to rain though throughout the next few hours. So it's going to be wet, but I do know that there are some covers out there that you can hit from. So hopefully you can get back to it. But let's wait till the lightning subsides before you stick that golf club up in the air. We don't want anything dangerous going on out there.
Yeah, if there is lightning ongoing, you want to wait 30 minutes after the last clap of thunder before you resume your activities. So after you hear that last clap of thunder, wait 30 minutes, then you can head out, rain or no rain.
All right, so we'll another 15 minutes or so, we should have most of Shelby County cleared. And I think if we get through that with no new warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings being posted, we'll probably start to wrap it up at that point, but we'll stick with you here until the majority of this line gets through at least Shelby County, and it looks like it's not too dangerous down there in northern Mississippi right now, which is really good. We weren't sure going into this event exactly how that was going to play out, and certainly the ingredients were all in place. I think we got very lucky that we did not have more isolated thunderstorms, kind of rogue random cells popping up out ahead of this line, because there was definitely a pretty volatile atmosphere that they could have tapped into and started spinning pretty quickly. So the squall line kind of helps to offset that some. Certainly still can get rotation within the squall line, but all of the neighboring cells around that are in that squall line kind of interrupt a lot of the processes that take place with isolated supercells that cause them to spin and result in tornadoes. So I think we kind of got lucky in that case.
Do have indication now some stronger winds actually moving in behind this line. If you can see it on the radar, they're basically in eastern, or rather western and northwestern Shelby County. Looks like those northwesterly winds are starting to push in behind that, bringing some brisk winds across the area. Some of the locations along the river already reporting northwest winds. Waiting to see if the airport is actually going to show northwest winds. Last update we had from them was about 15 minutes ago, showing west winds, but all the locations, West Memphis reporting northwest winds, and now 57 degrees. And Olive Branch still reporting 72. We should get an update here in the next 10 minutes or so with that. We do have a question about being clear. Not sure exactly where they're talking about the clearing, but probably Shelby County. Basically want to know when you think this line will be clear of some of the metro.
Yeah, so the line itself is taking about 20 to 30 minutes to pass any location. So if it has already hit where you are and you're already getting the heavy rain, probably about 30 minutes or so for it to finally clear, and that rain to settle down. Does not mean you will have clear skies. It just means that the overall threat will be over, the high wind threat will be done, and the lightning will certainly be subsiding as well. So yeah, depending on where you are, I'm not sure where that is, but probably 20 to 30 minutes for a complete passing of that. Hello to Jennifer out in Germantown. Appreciate you following along always. And she's reported a good amount of wind down there in Germantown. I'm not surprised by that. We've got on the backside of that gust front or outflow boundary that's moving through, pretty strong west winds back behind most of it. So, yep, that's going to continue here for just a little bit longer down there in Germantown.
Do you mind pulling up the MLGW?
Yep, I certainly can.
I've got a question about any outages in 240 or expecting any outages. The main threat of the wind has already passed 240 loop, so that is moving into Collierville and Somerville area now. So if there were any outages, they would have already occurred.
Yeah, most likely that is the case. I think this is probably about where we're going to stick for tonight. There's possibility for a little bit in the far eastern part of the county as the line gets through there, but for the most part, this should be about what we're seeing tonight. So holding stationary there. I want to send a hello out also to Lee, former intern who's tuned in tonight and watching things either from Starkville or down in South Haven. But hello, Lee. Good to hear from you, and thanks for tuning in tonight. We appreciate that.
Let's check in with Lorian and Gracie, see if y'all got anything to add.
I don't have anything, but it's been really cool to see people's pictures that they're posting online. I know Hunter May has been posting pictures of the hail, so I definitely encourage that for anyone that is in the metro.
Absolutely. We love the pictures. I know it's a little bit hard after dark to get some of those, but if you can get some, we gladly will take them, and we certainly will share them back out as well. So we're looking at precip totals for the airport, and I'm not seeing the 7 o'clock precip total or for our 6 o'clock total to add into previous. Just going to take a look and see how much rain we've gotten there. 38. So I actually think up through the time of 6 o'clock, which is when we normally put out our climate post, this rain all fell after that. So 6,500 of an inch is going to be correct, except for the rain that has fallen in the last hour, and another half an inch has fallen here in the last hour, 0.53, since it started up around 7 o'clock at the airport. But 6,500 looks like it's accurate for earlier today. Now I'm sitting here with my weather station out in the backyard here at northern part of Bartlett at MWN, and I have received now 2.74 inches of rain since midnight tonight. We had a gully washer that came through here about 1:30, 2 o'clock this morning. It was loud and it was torrential, and we got about 1.5 inches of rain out of that as it moved through overnight last night, early this morning. So that's a good part of it, but certainly have gotten another inch or so out of this line that's come through here recently. So if you've got a backyard rain gauge and able to see how much rain you've gotten today, we're certainly interested in that as well. Feel free to send those to us. And I'll make a little plug as well for those who kind of like the weather hobby and are into just kind of watching the weather on a daily basis. There's a great program, nationwide program, that you can be a backyard precipitation observer for minimal outlay initially to get a really fine rain gauge that is standardized across the country. You can contribute daily your rain and snow reports that go to the Weather Service. It goes to research institutions and just to the general public where they're putting together rainfall reports from across the nation. It is called CocoRaHS, CocoRaHS, Collaborative Community Rain and Hail Network. Allows you to be a part of that, and anybody can do that. So if you've got a youngster that's interested in the weather and thinks might want to do that someday, go out and get you one of those rain gauges from CocoRaHS. Go to their website, CocoRaHS.com. .org. Learn more about that program and help to foster some of that interest in weather for others as well. So I'm a part of that program as well, and have been sending in daily observations for several years. And it's really interesting to see how your observations compare with others that are around your community, and how much rain really does vary from one place to another. We can say, we're going to get an inch of rain out of the system, but not everybody's going to get an inch, because every storm is unique, and you put them all together, can't predict exactly where they're going to go. And it really makes a difference in where that rain's going. So pretty cool program if you're interested in participating. Shall we take one more look through the radar here, Richard? And I'm going to go check on a couple other things here.
Sure. I'll switch it back over to you. So we do have a comment from Jennifer. Been listening to us since 2010, and only source makes her feel informed. So high praise.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Jennifer. Appreciate you.
So on the radar, we can see that there is a line moving east pretty quickly, basically now from just east of Brownsville all the way to, let me stop it here. Oh, I just realized I'm sharing yours and not mine. There we go. So the line of thunderstorms extending from basically east of Brownsville almost into Somerville now. Heaviest rain over Oakland and Collierville at the moment, and down around Miller, about to move into Byhalia here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Independence, Cockram, Coldwater about to get on the action as well, and down into Sarah in western Tate County. This line is moving east at about 40 miles per hour, and will continue to push east through the evening. Light rain on the backside of this will continue through the night, and we do have a flash flood warning in effect until 10:15 for a large portion of the area, including Crittenden, Shelby, Tipton, Fayette, and DeSoto and Marshall County. Or no, not DeSoto and Marshall. Excuse me, just Crittenden, Shelby, Tipton, and Fayette counties. Again, flash flood warning for those areas until 10:15. No severe thunderstorm watches or warnings are in effect. We do have a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. No tornado warnings are currently in effect for the metro. This line, as it moves through, when the leading edge hits you, expect about 20 to 30 minutes for the line to pass, and then behind that we'll see light to moderate rain for the rest of the evening. So pretty quick moving cell, or pretty quick moving line, as this entire line shifts east of the metro here in the next 30 minutes to an hour over the course of the evening, with light rain continuing behind it. Again, we do have a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. Expect that to be trimmed back a little bit by the Weather Service as they see that these counties are no longer needed to be in the watch. But we do have flash flood warning in effect until 10:15 for basically southwestern Shelby County, southwestern Tennessee, including Shelby, Fayette, and Tipton County, as well as Crittenden County in eastern Arkansas. We do have a question. Is Memphis clear for tornadoes? I would say so. The main line has moved well east of us, now moving into Collierville. Actually has moved through the Collierville area. It's pretty rain moving in. It's pretty heavy rain has moved through Collierville and is moving to the Rossville, Somerville area. The threat for tornadoes with this entire line has greatly diminished, and the threat for tornadoes for Memphis is almost zero. So not expecting any tornadoes for Memphis. Really no tornadoes right now expected for the line. Take a look at the reflectivity at the wind, and basically we can see just a straight line wind with the leading edge of this storm. Really don't see any perturbations along the line like we did earlier. So looking like this line has condensed into a straight line wind event, as well as heavy rain and small hail. Olive Branch, got a question. Is Olive Branch clear? Olive Branch is still experiencing some moderate to heavy rain at the moment, obviously some lightning as well. This line is now east of Olive Branch. The leading edge of this line is now east of Olive Branch, right along the 269 corridor, just south of Collierville as it heads towards Byhalia. So if you're on the 269 loop in that area, be ready for some heavy rain that will occur or is occurring basically along 269 there in northwestern Marshall County. But as for Olive Branch, expect some moderate to heavy rain to continue as well as lightning, maybe some gusty winds with the backside of this heavier precipitation, and expect that to move through in the next 15 to 20 minutes. And you should expect light to moderate rain behind that. There is some indication that there is some stronger cells moving into the Hernando area. Not seeing anything concerning, but do have the indication that there are some heavy rain, thunderstorms, as well as maybe some gusty winds for the Hernando area here in the next little bit, as well as much of central DeSoto County. I'm going to stop the loop right here. We can see that basically a line of heavier rainfall from Walls down to just west of Hernando and into western Tate County. That should move into the I-55 corridor here in the next 10 to 15 minutes, if not sooner. And this is all moving to the east, northeast now at about 40 miles per hour. So heavy rainfall possible, especially along the I-55 corridor here in the next 10 minutes or so. So if you're traveling, just be aware that you're going to need to take it slow, because there's a lot of heavy rain, a lot of rainfall, a lot of water on the roadways now, and will continue throughout the evening. So if you do have to get out, be aware that there are potential flooding issues across the metro, not only where the heavy rain is currently occurring, but across the entire metro. Low-lying areas could experience some flooding, as well as poor drainage locations. So just be aware that where it rains, it could flood. And we currently do have a lot of areas around that have already received rain and could receive 1 to 3 inches more of rain throughout the evening hours.
I believe I just saw a new warning pop up, 736. This includes southern parts of Tunica County and extending south from there down to Helena, Clarksdale. This is for a severe thunderstorm well down to our southwest and moving up towards the Tunica County area, but still quite a ways out, probably another 30 minutes or so before it gets there. The warning only goes till 8 o'clock, but it does show a severe thunderstorm moving to the northeast. It says at 90 miles per hour. Wow. Not so sure about that. We've been moving 55 to 60 miles an hour, but 90 would be, they might have Mississippi Highway Patrol on that storm trying to get that one pulled over. So that's a little bit too fast. But hail and wind damage possible. We will keep an eye on this. For right now, southern Tunica County, basically from the town of Tunica south, most of that agricultural and forest land down on the south side there. That does include down towards the Clarksdale area as well, outside of our coverage area. So we'll make a note of that and keep an eye on it as that storm moves up to the northeast. That was, it wasn't a warning issued by the Memphis office there. So,
that warning does include southern Tunica and southwestern Tate County, very far southwestern portion of Tate County. So it's in the Savage and the Sarah areas. Those are along Highway 3, just south of the Highway 4 corridor.
Okay.
In Tate County.
Looking back up to the north, we do see that heaviest rain is moving through DeSoto County. Olive Branch still getting pretty good activity there, and Collierville, but Germantown is starting to let up a little bit. We're seeing the eastern parts of Shelby County, the far eastern parts, Eads up through Spring Creek, Grace Creek, the Briarcrest area. Those are all we'll be letting up here in the next 10 minutes or so as that storm system continues to move over into Fayette County. You can definitely see where the leading edge of that line of storms is along the gust front, our outflow boundary there. You can see that in our wind data on the right-hand side as that storm system is pushing off to the east. So that's the strong and gusty wind behind it. But those winds are letting up quite a bit. Most of this, where it looks a little bit higher, especially over Shelby County, is going to be just low-level winds that aren't reaching the ground, because most of the observations are showing pretty light winds at the surface. So that's now remaining elevated up above the ground.
You have a comment from Natalie about the CocoRaHS. Thank you for the info. Kiddos will enjoy measuring the rain and contributing.
There you go. Excellent. The more, the better, for sure. And even if you don't want to participate, it's interesting to look at CocoRaHS.org. You can view all the data and see all of the stations. There's thousands of stations across the United States now, and gives you a pretty good idea. You might find one in your area that can give you an idea of how much rain has fallen in a particular day. Historical data on there. Pretty interesting to go and look back. You could pull up those snow totals from January 10th in Shelby County and see who got what across the area. And one other question that has come in about power outages. I don't know exactly where that question is coming from, but in our area in Shelby County, I would say the answer is no. We have had most of our storms move through, and it should be we should be pretty much in the clear in that regard. We do have a new tornado warning, as you can hear.
Yeah.
So that storm we were discussing earlier now has become tornado warned. That includes the majority of Tunica County. It does get right up the very far northern point of that is up at Casino Strip. It also includes western Tate County, west of I-55. That'll be around the Arca Butler area. That's kind of just outside of the warning, but just south of there. And the areas we were talking about earlier, Savage and Sarah, Crenshaw, Sledge, all of those areas now in a tornado warning. And let's see what the Weather Service has to say.
Well, let's see if Lorian can cover that warning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you very much. 7:40 p.m. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Sherrard or Elaine, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. They've corrected their 90 miles an hour. They've slowed down because the Highway Patrol said they were going too fast. But tornado and quarter-size hail possible. This is radar-indicated rotation. There is not a visual confirmation of rotation, but the radar is showing some rotation down in that area, and I'm quite a ways away from that location to be able to get a good look at radar. Let's see if TMEM has it.
Yeah,
and
that is
it's not good enough.
Yeah, that is not a good location for radar coverage there.
No, it certainly is not. That's kind of a big hole between radars there. So, but the experts are seeing it, and we'll go with it.
Yeah, so the tornado warning does extend into southwestern Tate County, as well as much of Tunica County. This does include Tunica, Hollywood. It does include Savage and Sarah in southwestern Tate County. Those locations are currently getting some heavy rain at the moment and some thunder, but not really seeing any tornado potential immediately in the Sarah and Tunica County areas. But those the indication for tornadoes is actually down in Coahoma County.
There's a line right there.
And just west of Clarksdale, and that is moving, like Eric said, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. So we're going to continue to watch that as it moves into Tunica County, probably in the next, I would say, 30 minutes. and eventually into southwestern Tate County in the next 45 minutes. So 30 minutes, that'd be 8:15 when it moves into southern Tunica County, and then probably 7:15 southern Tunica County, 7:30 as it moves into southwestern Tate County. So
I
be
think that'd
aware.
be 8:15 and 8:30.
8:15. Thank you.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm an hour behind, I guess.
That's all right. It will be interesting to see how this storm kind of matriculates as it moves up to the north, because it is moving in behind the squall line to once it gets up to Tunica County. They have already gotten to northwesterly winds up there, and it's moving into a much more stable environment behind the storms that have already moved through that area. So while the area where it is now, Clarksdale, and headed kind of northeast from there, is still in some pretty good atmosphere to support the potential rotation. Once it cuts in behind this line that's moving off to the east, I think that's going to spell the demise of that severity pretty quickly. Richard, I'm going to let you take screen share if you don't mind for a minute.
Yeah, I've got it. So the line that we were talking about earlier has moved through Somerville. Somerville is seeing some heavy rain at the moment. About to move into Moscow. Heavy rain occurring over Rossville right now, and those areas will continue to see heavy rain over the next 10 to 15 minutes as this line pushes east. Expect some gusty winds with that. Could see some wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour in the Somerville and Moscow areas, as well as Rossville. Collierville seeing some moderate to heavy rain at the moment, but that is starting to diminish. Olive Branch, probably some similar situation, moderate to heavy rain, and that is beginning to move east of the area. Some heavy rain in Hernando down to Coldwater, and even moving into Senatobia. Again, we do have a tornado warning in effect for southwestern Tate County, as well as southern or most of Tunica County, which does include Tunica and the casinos, and that is in effect until 8:15. Current time is 7:46, so we are going to continue to watch this storm as it moves into the metro. Tunica and Tate County both are included in our coverage area, so we do want to keep those listeners and advised of any hazardous weather that moves into the area. But as far as Shelby County, Tipton County, and even Crittenden County goes, just seeing some light to moderate rain, and that will continue. We do have a flash flood warning in effect for Tipton, Shelby, Fayette, and Crittenden County until 10:15. We're expecting additional 1 to 3 inches of rain to continue this evening, as this main line has now pushed east of Shelby County and is moving through Fayette County, as well as northwestern Marshall County, eastern DeSoto County, and central Tate County. So light to moderate rain will continue behind this, but as far as the tornado potential, that has significantly decreased for Shelby, Crittenden, and Tipton County. We do still have a tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. tonight, and again, we are watching a tornado watch for Tunica County and southwestern Tate County until 8:15. Again, this tornado potential is just west of Clarksdale in Coahoma County, and it is going to move northeast and continue into southern Tunica County by 8.
And we might have lost Richard there. I will take over screen share here. There we go. So recapping this tornado warning, I think that's where he was headed with that. Tornado warning is in effect until 8:15, and going to be moving up towards the Tunica, the southern part of Tunica County here in the next. Probably that storm is moving pretty quickly. Probably moving into southern Tunica County here in the next 15 minutes or so, shortly after 8 o'clock, and getting up towards central Tunica County and southwestern Tate County by 8:15, which is about when that warning extends to right now. So By this time, we'll see if at that time we'll see if that warning is extended or what exactly happens to that storm. But right now, it's a pretty good looking storm down at the southern end of that line. Got a question for is the Memphis area clear for tornadoes? Yes, I believe so. We are going to continue to watch that storm down to the southwest that is going to be moving into Tunica County. So can't completely rule out maybe the Collierville area, but I think by the time it gets there, we should be that storm will probably not be in its current form, given that it's going to be moving into a much more stable environment behind that line. So for the question from Ryan, I see that about keeping an eye on the tornado warning for Collierville. Yeah, you need to keep a side eye on it, but we'll see if that actually is going to make it that far up to the north. So for now, we'll handle just the warning as far as it goes up into Tunica and Tate County.
Eric, if I can jump in for like 2 seconds. I've got a question on Twitter for, is the tornado threat for Shelby low now? I'm assuming the answer is yes, but I definitely don't want to give out the wrong information.
Yes, we can, if it's just calling for Shelby County, the tornado threat is essentially over. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
The tornado watch has not been cleared. That will be the final hammer in the coffin, nail in the coffin, hammer, nail, coffin, if you've watched some Grizzlies broadcasts. But that would spell the end of the threat. Let's see. So the line is moving off to the east up here on the Tennessee side of the state line. It is right now moving through Fayette County. Tipton County, you are all clear up in that area for sure. And Fayette County, that line is pushing through the eastern side up to about Whiteville, extending through Somerville, Williston, and Moscow. We got a comment from Susan, who is in the Williston area. Always good to hear from you, Susan. And we've got our weather observer out there in Williston and always lets us know what's going on. So she says it is coming down there pretty strongly, and that is what radar indicates as well, moving out into the eastern side of Fayette County. It does look like that storm is producing a little bit of rotation up, just up the line outside of our coverage area, but going into the Jackson area. Jackson, Tennessee, if you've got friends and family in that area, anywhere there in and around the Jackson area, a tornado warning is in effect for Jackson, including a good part of Madison County, several other surrounding counties. It goes until 8:30, and a storm capable of producing a tornado was about 10 miles southwest of Jackson, moving northeast at 50. This warning was just issued 3 minutes ago. That is moving. Basically, it's over the McKellar Airport now, moving into the heart of Jackson imminently. So tornado warning for those areas. Make sure if you've got, again, friends or relatives, family up in that area, spread the word. Make sure they are aware so that they can get in their safe place up there in Jackson. So it looks like as that line pushes east out of Fayette County, we're starting to see it moving into the Marshall County area as well. Byhalia, storms have arrived there, moving into the Sladen area. They'll get to Red Banks and Holly Springs eventually after that. Starting to clear out on the backside of the line over DeSoto County, although, again, we'll keep an eye on that tornado warning to the southwest. But heaviest rain now is in the about the eastern third of DeSoto County, east of I-55, still up and around the Olive Branch area down to Cockrum and Miller. Lewisburg High School area is still getting pretty heavy rain in there. Hernando's now on the backside of that, and it stretches down through Independence and Senatobia, Coldwater, right along 55 and east of there. Line continuing to push off to the east. Let's push this through a loop and get rid of the wind speeds there. We could just take a look at the big picture. And I will let that just kind of cruise through there for a minute and come back to that in just a minute. The latest comments we're seeing from the National Weather Service on the storm down to the south around Clarksdale is that the rotation is weakening. It is broad, but there still is some weak rotation in that area. So the tornado warning continues as it pushes up towards southern Tunica County. And I expect if those trends hold, which is quite possible because it's moving into a more stable environment behind that squall line, that tornado warning probably will not be extended any further north. It currently goes until 8:15, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 8:15. So we'll see where that goes from there. But 8:15 for now is when that warning goes to.
Okay, I think I'm back for a little bit.
Okay, are you safe down there?
Oh, yeah.
North Mississippi. All right,
Yeah,
good.
just had some
Good.
some issues, connectivity issues. So
Gotcha. I'm going to handle a couple of offline questions that have come in here while you're
okay.
talking about that. We were just discussing also the threat for the Jackson, Tennessee area, new tornado warning up there, and a lot of folks down here who have relatives and friends up in that region. So,
Oh wow, yeah, I see that warning on the radar. Again, tornado warning in effect for Madison County, Jackson, Tennessee area. That is in effect until 8:30. That is out of our metro, but it is along I-40. So if you're headed or know anyone that's headed up around the Jackson, Tennessee area, there is a tornado warning ongoing for that area. The switch this back to mine. So we can see that there is some heavy rain now moving through the eastern portion of Fayette County.
Richard, I'm gonna step in. You're losing that connection again. It's pretty choppy.
Go ahead.
A lot of feedback. Yeah. We're looking at the warning down south again. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, you sound pretty good now. So maybe it was just temporary. I'll let you go ahead and try and continue.
Okay. If I break up, just take over.
Yep.
But the main line is now moving towards Holly Springs. It's in eastern Tate County. We did have a comment, looks like they're in eastern Tate County, so you can expect some heavy rain, lightning, and gusty winds with this storm that's moving through. Independence, into the Bar and Wyatt and Tyro areas. But if we look further southwest, there is a tornado warning in effect until 8:15 for much of Tunica County as well as southwestern Tate County. The indication now is weakened and continue to keep the tornado warning for now.
Yeah, and it looks like they the last thing I'm seeing is that they are about to drop the tornado and severe thunderstorm warnings for Coahoma, that Coahoma storm. So that, as I suspected, we were discussing a minute ago, as that storm moves into a little bit more stable environment, it's starting to fall apart. Still heavy rain and lightning down in that storm, but the warnings will be dropped here very shortly.
That's great news. Like you said earlier, you're kind of expecting that to happen because this is basically occurring behind the main line, and so there isn't much instability for right. Yeah, there isn't much instability for the storm to hang on to and to continue to build as it moves northeast behind the main line. So a lot of this heavy rain and the northwesterly winds and colder temperatures that are moving in behind this main line are quashing the tornado potential. And this is not for us. This is for north of us. But they did expire, or they did cancel the tornado warning now, and there is still a severe thunderstorm warning for that same area. Now let me switch it back over to mine. There is a severe thunderstorm for Tunica as well as southwestern Tate County until 8 p.m. So in 1 minute is when this is going to expire.
Yep, and they're going to let that expire at 8 o'clock. So that will conclude the warnings for that area as well.
I'll let you touch on Jackson, Tennessee. Just had a comment from Sarah about to expect tornado warnings for Jackson, Tennessee.
Yep, we'll take one more look at that. And then as these storms are continuing to push off and out of the metro with no recent warnings directly here in the metro that look like they will continue outside of flash flood, we will probably get ready to wrap it up here. But let's take one more look up there at Jackson for that storm that's moving through that area, because I know we've got a lot of interest in folks up there in the Jackson area. And wouldn't you know, as soon as I did that, they just canceled the warning for Jackson. Yep, literally just now. So no longer a tornado warning for Jackson. Sarah, if you're still listening, maybe she's calling me now. Sarah, call your grandbabies up there in Jackson and let them know the tornado warning was canceled. It is still going to be with that line moving through, strong gusty winds, heavy rain, probably some high winds, but no severe thunderstorm warning either. So the rotation has weakened considerably. Looks pretty well like a nice straight solid wind line at this point. No rotation noted in there. So Jackson, Tennessee is all clear. And I think what I'm going to do here to any other comments, questions that you got there, Richard, before I kind of wrap up here?
I don't see any. Lori and Gracie.
We're good over here.
All right. Let's continue from your guys' perspective in weather mode here. Hold off on the normal evening post just for a little bit longer, if you would. And with that, I would like to just take a look at what we've got coming up here now that this weather is starting to move out. This is our MemphisWeather.net forecast that, if you weren't aware, a lot of you follow on social media and so forth, and we probably don't do a good enough job at plugging the fact that we are writing daily forecast, and you can get that just for our 8-county coverage area. This is meteorologist written. It is not model data. It did not show 20 inches of snow for next Wednesday at any point. So we are humans writing this forecast, and I want to just go through what we've got coming up here, because once this line moves through, it is going to get cold again. We're looking for those winds to switch around to the northwest overnight tonight. We could see gusts of 25 to 30 miles an hour once the front itself finally pushes through here before very long. And that's going to drop us down to about 33 in the morning. Cannot rule out the possibility of a few flurries tomorrow right before daybreak or right around daybreak, as the very last of the moisture is squeezed out of the atmosphere in this cold air that's coming in. It'll be marginal temperature-wise to get any snow, but and it would not be much. This is not something that you're going to need to change any plans for. What we call no worry flurries possibility tomorrow morning. We will see the clouds stick around for a good part of the day and then diminish as we go through the day. It's going to be windy. High temperature tomorrow around 40 degrees. Those gusts up around 25 miles an hour. So you're headed out to church in the morning, look or taking a run or whatever you might be doing. That first cup of coffee, those wind chills will be down in the low 20s. As we go into tomorrow night, we'll see temperatures drop to 25 by Monday morning with wind chills in the mid-teens. 44 degrees, mostly sunny on Monday. And then you'll see as we get into the extended outlook, we do have one more round of precipitation expected next week. It is going to occur most likely Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Temperatures are going to be cold. It looks like we'll be seeing Tuesday low 40s, but overnight we'll be dropping into the low 20s. We will not get out of the 20s on Wednesday. It's possible that we could see a minor amount of accumulating snow on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. There's also some indications that might actually get a little bit of freezing rain mixed in with that. We'll hope not. But light amounts, we're not looking at another 7.5 inches like we had on January 10th. But it could cause some problems on Wednesday morning. So keep that in the back of your mind. We will discuss that more once we get past this event and get a little bit closer, get a little better chance to see exactly what might come of that. But keep that in the back of your mind. Then once that clears out, we're looking at very, very cold temperatures Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We likely will not get above freezing Wednesday. We will not get above freezing Thursday, probably not Friday and Saturday. I believe got near 30, and that might be a typo. Yeah, Saturday should be near 40. I will fix that. But we will be under below freezing for maybe as long as 72 hours over those 3 days. Low temperatures in the mornings, got lower teens, but some areas outside the city could get some upper single digits. This would be the coldest air that we have received all winter. And the fortunate thing is that is going to be short-lived. A couple of days, we'll be back to 40 on Saturday. Looks like about 50 by Sunday. So we're going to rebound out of that pretty quickly. But that system that's coming through Tuesday night is going to usher in some very cold air for the latter part of next week. So we're going to, I think, close out on that note. Tornado watch should be canceled here shortly. The last comment I'll make comes from the Weather Service. You got it there too, Richard?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they're going to plan to cancel the tornado watch at 8:15 for Tipton, Shelby, DeSoto, and Tunica counties. So that would leave Fayette and Marshall counties in our coverage area still under the tornado watch for a little bit longer. The rest of us have the all clear here in the next 10 minutes. And with that, we're going to sign off. We appreciate everybody who has joined us tonight. Thank you very much for following along. Please make sure you're following us on social media. Check out the Stormwatch Plus app. We'll be happy to assist in any way we can to get you set up or whatever for that. But that is definitely something you want to consider. And finally, I'll also take a minute to mention our Patreon account. We do this. A lot of what we do is free of charge. All of the social media, all of this live streaming like we've been doing for the last hour and 45 minutes or so is free of charge, but we do have a virtual tip jar, and that is through Patreon. So if you would like to make a small contribution each month, $3 even is fantastic. We'd appreciate it. You can find us at patreon.com/MemphisWeather1. Very easy to set up. Get a few little bonus things thrown in there for being a subscriber to Patreon. And we appreciate all that you guys do to support us. We're happy to be able to continue this service for you. So thanks a lot for that. And with that, I think we will sign off for the night. Everybody stay warm as we head into the next few days. And for those that are still getting those storms moving through, they will be gone shortly. So hang in there. With that, I'm Eric. I got Richard with me, Lorian and Gracie tonight. Thank you all for participating, and we will be talking to you again sometime soon.